Great. Thanks, Valerie. Good morning, everyone. Let's get started just like usual. So we have our chin tucks and head turns, 10 each to start with. So seated or standing, just really making sure we are elongating that spine. And if you're standing, really making sure you're tucking that pelvis under, shortening the distance from your rib cage to your hips. Okay, so kind of tucking and curling under. From there, we're going to go ahead and chin tuck back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Let's maintain that length through the vertebrae. Okay, keeping that pelvis tucked if you're standing up. Head turns 5 each direction. We're going to turn, come back to center, turn other direction, back to center. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent. We're going to get into the first part of our workout, which is our warm up here. Okay. There are 8 exercises, and we're going to go 2 rounds through. Yesterday there was last Tuesday there was a request on some lower back strengthening exercises, especially as we're entering into spring and maybe doing a little more yard work and whatnot. So I want you to think of these exercises that we're warming up with as good ways to help loosen up and get our lower back ready for the day. Okay, we're going to focus on lower back and hips. Okay, so just follow my lead. The first exercise we're going to do is our 4-count cherry picker. Okay, this is stretching out the whole back side. So our feet are wider than our shoulders, right? Okay, we do that movement where we reach out. You see my hips push back, and then I bow forward. So this all stays straight, right? Versus we're not trying to do this. You see how my hips didn't push back and my upper back rounded? We don't want that. We want hips back, okay? See that difference? From here, this is what we want, okay? So we're going to reach out, middle, in, and you can do a little reach up if you want, or you can just keep your hands down here, okay? We're going to do that for 30 seconds, all right? Let's get ready. You can be seated or standing for this. If you're seated, you're just right here, okay? All right, let's get ready and begin. And feet are outside the width of the shoulders, reaching out, middle, in, and an option to reach up as long as it's comfortable. And remember, as we're waking up the body, it's like, you think about when somebody's sleeping and you're just gently nudging on them, hey, it's time to get up, okay? When you're warming up, I want you to think of just being gentle with your body to start, okay? It takes time to warm up. You don't want to come in very aggressive first thing, okay? 2 and 1. Good. Ooh, that's a little loud. We're going to go into our cat-cows next. So either seated or standing. All right, if you're standing here, you're going to place your palms or your knuckles onto your chair, and you're going to arch and round through the back and tuck the chin, tuck the pelvis, and then untuck everything. Again, think of that gentle nudge, waking somebody up. Okay, you're not forcing anything. You're just going through your range of motion, saying, hey, it's time to move. We've been sleeping. Time to get up. Get that blood flow to the body, okay? 2 and 1. Okay, now we're gonna go into lateral side bends, okay? So you can either sit and reach up and over, or you can stand, okay? If you stand, you might do a little toe tap, okay? You can see how this gets the whole side body here, moving that lumbar spine from one side to the room to the next, okay? Good. We're going to continue on with this one next, and we're going to turn this into rotations by reaching across the body. So just follow my lead. Again, this can be done seated or standing. All right, so here we go. We're going to just take that to reaching across. Now we feel this rotation through the body, okay? See, we get this twist on the pelvis here. All right, see our hips are getting involved. Now our hips are only really getting involved if we're doing the standing variation. If you're seated, it's more going to be about this thoracic rotation, okay? So if you're seated, there's no toe twisting here. This is what it looks like if it's seated, and either of these options is a good option, okay? 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now we're gonna stand up if you were seated. We're going to hold the side of our chair. You're gonna take that inside leg, okay, between our standing leg, and we're just gonna pendulum, okay? Leg swings, all right? So holding onto the side of the chair is just gonna give you that stability you need so that you don't have to worry about focusing on balance. Because what we're trying to do here is just loosen up the hip, okay? We just wanna feel like it's a pendulum, like we're getting that joint to move, all right? And you just, yep, you can use the wall too, anything that can, just a little support, because we just want that focus to be on loosening the joint, okay? That way we don't have to focus on the balancing part. Good. Now, I'm gonna just switch my chair over, but you can just turn around at home. I just wanna make sure I stay facing the camera here because we're gonna do the other side, okay? All right, so just leg swing, just really opening up that hip. It's just kind of like think of a swing on a swing set. There's not a lot of effort to it. It's more about addressing the hip than the muscles all around. Okay, we're just focused on the joint itself. 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then the final one out of these 8, and then we're going to go through it again, is our hip circles. We're going to switch 15 seconds one direction and then the other, okay? Nice and wide with that stance, okay? Now we're continuing on with that hip mobility, okay? Only 15 seconds each direction. So we're going to be switching here in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reverse your circle, okay? So these can be done seated too. It's just more of the upper body is rotating around instead of the hip. I do recommend for those leg swings standing and holding onto the chair though. And time. Okay, so we're going back to the top, okay? So back to that 4 count cherry picker, seated or standing. We're just going to make sure we have that length between our shoulders here. Reach out, middle, in. Option to reach up, okay? You might even notice round 2, you have a little more mobility through those hips and the backs of the legs now, okay? Remember, this is all about waking up the lower back and all the supporting areas and muscles around it, okay? And joints. A few more here. We're gonna do our cat-cow next. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, great. So seated or standing, if you're seated, you're just rested on your knees, or if you're standing, we're just arching and untucking, all right? Waking up that spine, right? Feeling that flexion and extension. It can feel pretty stiff in the morning, so just go through your range. You're not forcing. That's really important, okay? We're gradually warming up into the work to come. 5 more seconds here, and we're gonna go to those lateral side bends. 2, and 1. Okay, so you can either stay seated here like this and do your side bends like that, or you can stand it up. There's a little more of a toe tap. You feel just a little more length through the body in the standing position. Either one is acceptable. Feel this nice stretch on either side of the spine. Good, keep it going. Don't mind me for a second here, just turning my, there we go. All right, we're gonna go into those side reaches next. Okay, so let's get ready. In 3, 2, 1, now we're gonna rotate, okay? So we were just side bending and now we're adding an actual twist. Remember, if you're seated, don't worry about the feet moving. You're just twisting through your range of motion in the upper body. Hopefully you're starting to feel the back and the trunk of the body starting to loosen up here. We're gonna go back to those leg swings next, okay? Two, and 1. Good, all right, picking a leg to start with. I'm gonna hold on to the side of my chair or the side or the wall. Okay, we're gonna take that inside leg in between our supporting leg and the wall or the chair. And it's just kind of like, there's no muscle tension that you're putting into the leg here. You're focused on the hip joint itself and just creating that mobility in the joint, okay? A lot of times lower back pain can come from stiff hips, okay, or tight calves. So we're gonna address those areas today, okay? And time, let's get ready to do the other leg. You guys at home can just turn around. I'm just gonna flip my chair so I stay in front of the camera. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, our body works synergistically. So, you know, sometimes we may have some lower back discomfort, but that doesn't always mean that the source that it's coming from is our lower back. Sometimes we might be tighter in another area and that creates more pressure on the lower back. So we're gonna try to address these different areas here, okay? 3, 2, and 1. All right, final move in our warm up, and we're gonna get into our next block. We're gonna go back to those hip circles, nice and wide with the feet. Hips are involved if you're standing, and if you're seated, it's more that upper body rotation, okay? We're gonna switch after 15 seconds, so stick with me here. In 3, 2, 1, switch directions, okay? Good. And 3, 2, and 1. Okay, excellent. That was our warm up. Our first block, we're gonna go ahead and increase the body temperature, okay, and continue on with our warm up. We're gonna do a Tabata pyramid, 2 exercises, increases in intensity and then comes back down, okay, and that should really start to get our heart rate up and our internal body temperature warmer. Our 2 moves are going to be a wide leg transfer. I'm going to show you a couple different ways that you can do this starting standing, and then I'll show seating variations. So if you're advanced, I'm going to start here since my chair is over here. Transfer, okay? So I'm shifting my weight from one leg, driving back up, and then the other. It's like a side lunge, boom, okay? So this is what it looks like from the front view, and this would be your hardest variation here, okay? All right, or from the side view. See that? Okay, see, push back, right? Okay, don't think of the knee coming forward, right? I'm not doing this, okay? I'm doing this. Do you see the difference? All right, so you're gonna make sure hip back, drive forward, use the glute. Hip back, drive forward. Okay, that's the correct posture. If you feel your knee jutting forward, we want to correct that, okay, because we're not engaging our glute when we're doing this, okay? All right, so your second way to do that would be holding on to the chair for a little added support so you can focus on, is my hip pushing back? Okay, so if you keep on feeling that knee jut forward like this, then maybe try the chair so you can take some of that thinking out of it, okay? And then if you're doing seated, all right, we are still doing our lateral lunge to leg extension, okay, because we're still hitting the same muscle groups when we do this exercise here, okay? So this is your seated alternative. Our second exercise, remember we just have 2, we're gonna do a ham curl kickback with a palms up row, okay? If you have a pair of water bottles or 1 pound weights and you wanna add a light weight to this, you can. You do not have to, okay? You can go completely body weight here if you'd like, okay? All right, so, and that's gonna help. This kickback helps open up our hip flexors, which are often tight from our sitting, okay? So that's our Tabata pyramid. We're gonna start with 20 seconds, okay, of our wide leg lateral lunge, that weight transfer, okay? So just 20 seconds to start with here in our pyramid. All right, so Nice and wide, wider than shoulder width. You can always use the chair here for support, okay? All right, let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1. And I think I will use the chair, okay? So I'm just sink my hips back, all right? You should feel in the lengthened leg a little stretch, okay? And remember, we're pushing the hips back and driving up. You wanna feel the glute working on the opposite leg. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, going to our hand curl with the palms up, pull back. Option for a very light weight here. 30 seconds now. Here we go. And if you're seated here, you're closer to the edge of your chair so that you can toe tap those feet back behind, and the upper body movement looks the same, okay? Good. We're going to go back to that first movement, that lateral weight transfer, that lateral lunge. After this one, 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's get ready for that first exercise again. This time I'll demo forward and I'll keep the chair away here, okay? Nice and wide with my stance. Here we go. You could always bring your hands up for a little more balance if that helps, okay? So I'm shifting that knee that bends, that hip's going back, the weight's in that leg. And then I'm gonna drive up through the heel. All right, so you should feel maybe a little stretch through that inner thigh on the lengthened leg and the glute working on the bent leg. We've got 40 seconds of these. We're gonna go back to our second exercise next for 50 seconds, that ham curl with the pull back. 2, and 1. Okay, remember, get your drinks whenever you need them. Okay, you might feel that intensity starting to rev up as we get to the top of the pyramid. Here we go. We're at our 50-second marker for both these exercises now. Remember, you can have the option to hold a light weight here. Okay. So we're activating and turning on some back muscles here. We're also getting a stretch through the quadricep and the hip flexor in the front of the body here. All right, and we're starting to increase the intensity of our workout here. We're trying to get that heart rate up a little. All right, get nice and warm, maybe break a little sweat. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're still at the top of the pyramid. We're going back to that weight transfer. All right, remember, you can hold a chair in front, or if you're seated, lateral tap to leg extension. Here we go. And then the other. I'm keeping the weight in the heel of my foot. All right, so when I drive up, I'm pressing through my heel. Driving up through my heel. That's going to help ensure that I get the glute muscle turned on. So we're combining this hip opening, right, with this glute activation. After this, we start to go back down the pyramid. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now we're going back down the pyramid. So we have 40 seconds of our ham curl and pull back next. 2, and 1. Here we go. I'm trying to bring that heel in towards my glute. Good. Excellent. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. We're almost there, okay? 2 more sets. All right, we're going to go into our weight transfer lateral lunge for 30 seconds in 3, 2, and 1. We come from the side this time. So remember, hip comes back and drive it up. Hip goes back and drive it up. Remember, if you find your knee going forward instead, we've got to correct that. Okay, we want this, right? That's what we want. Drive up. 2 and 1. Okay, this is our final 20 seconds. I'm starting to feel my body temperature come up now, okay? All right, this is it. Kick back with a row. Here we go. Three, 2, and 1. Okay, guys, good work. All right, get a drink here. We're going to go into the rest of the workout now. So we've got 6 more exercises we're going to do today. The first 3, we're going to do 3 rounds through. Right into the second 3 rounds through. And then all 6 one more time. So just think of it as a bigger A, B, A, B, A, B, C, D. It's more like A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. And then the second set of A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. And then A, B, C, D, E, F, okay? All right, everyone got that? Okay, so here are our exercises. We're gonna start with an excellent core exercise. I do wanna offer a, you can do this laying down if you prefer, but it's not for everybody to get up and down off the floor, and I respect that and understand that. So the seated and standing variations are very good too. We're gonna start with our standing or seated or on the floor dead bug, okay? So a dead bug is our opposite hand, right? And opposite foot coming up, okay? Takes a lot of core work to, all right, so I'm trying to pull my belly button in as I do this, okay? So that's our standing variation. You also have your seated. And as long as you're thinking of exhaling and pushing that belly button back to your spine, this is an excellent option here in our seat, okay? So if you find you just can't keep your balance on that standing one, please come up to seated so that you can feel the effects that this exercise has to offer. Finally, because I know some of you are okay with getting on the floor here, this is traditionally why they call it a dead bug, because now I'm really starting to look like a dead bug. You get it? Okay, so from here, opposite arm and leg extend long and back down. Okay, so if you want to stay on the floor for this one, the important part is you don't want to pop up off the floor. You see, I should not be able to do this, okay? You want to be imprinted into the ground the whole time if you're doing it from the floor, okay? All right, that's exercise 1. Hinge to curl. Instead of our hinge to row, we're going to hinge, squeeze the glutes up, bicep curl, okay? Hinge, up, curl. Hinge, up, curl. This is going to look the same seated, okay? And then our last one, you know what we haven't done in a while, is our grapevine. Do, tap. Okay, so back, tap. And what I like about the grapevine is it gives us some external rotation through the hip by stepping that foot back, okay? If the pattern feels very confusing, just give me 2 step togethers, right? All right, if you just can't get the grapevine, just step together, step, tap, step together, step, tap, okay? So whatever frustrates you less. Okay, and then that's our first 3. And then we're gonna go right into our third 3. So I'm gonna show you these real quick. Okay, you can march it along as I'm talking to you just to keep that warming up. We're going to our sit squat, drive it up, 45-degree press, okay? So instead of overhead, we're coming up and out, okay? See that? It's like 45, okay? So drive it up, press, sit it down, drive it up, press, sit it down. If you need to remain seated, leg extension, press, leg extension, press, okay? After that, we are going into our bicep curl and march, okay? So that's our next one. Hitting the core stability strong here with this workout, okay? And then our last one is our rope pull. So everything is engaged and we're putting some intensity into that one, okay? There are 6 exercises. We're gonna do the first 3 for 3 rounds first, okay? So we're gonna start with our standing, seated, or on the floor dead bug, okay? So let's get ready. 45 seconds is going on the clock. Here we go. In 3, 2, and 1, we are on. So remember, opposite hand and foot, okay? Find that control. And the slower you go with this one, the more you're gonna challenge yourself. It's to come fast, you might get your heart rate up more, but you're spending less time trying to engage your core when you're doing it this, or when you're doing it that way. And we really wanna feel that core recruitment here, okay? It's okay, every once in a while you might notice you lose a little bit of balance. Usually that happens to everybody. What I would say is if it happens 3 times in a row, 3 strikes, you're out, maybe it's time to modify, okay? And time on that one, okay? So now we're gonna go to our hinge to curl. So we're just working on our core strength here. Now we're gonna work on our back, our core strength for our back and our glutes, okay? So we're gonna pair this with our bicep curl. Here we go, we're gonna hinge, squeeze the glutes to stand up, curl, okay? The whole time, I'm really interested in keeping my belly button pulled back towards my spine throughout the whole entire movement from start to finish, okay? I'm driving up through my heels so that my glutes and lower back and hamstrings get activated. And time. And now we're gonna grapevine it, okay? If you wanna hold on to a light pair of weights in your hand as you grapevine, you can do that if you're advanced. Otherwise, for me, I feel like it might be a little too much to think about, so I'm not going to, but I don't wanna take away from people who are advanced. So now we're just shaking off those 2 exercises, but the benefit of this is we're getting that external rotation of the hip, back, right, side, back, side, tap, side, back, side, tap, side, back, side, tap, okay? So give yourself a little chant. Remember, if it's frustrating and you can't get it, just do 2 side steps, side and side, tap, side and side, tap, okay? Three, 2, and 1, good. Back to the top, dead bug, okay? So we're starting on that core work again. All right, balance, okay? You can do this seated as well, or you can do it laying on your back on the floor. Just make sure your pelvis stays imprinted into the spot or into the ground or your lower back. All right, opposite hand and foot pattern. Okay, so as your right knee comes up, your left arm's gonna go up and vice versa. All right, so we're working on our core strength and our hip flexor strength. Oops, right hand. As well as our cognitive abilities here. Opposite hand and foot patterns are very primal movements. And time, one of the first things that we learn as a baby, crawling, right? Okay, back to our second. We're going to our hinge to bicep curl, okay? that whole time, I want you to focus on keeping this pulled back, okay? Glutes engaged, hinge, squeeze, curl, okay? So when I come up here, I am very active in trying to keep my glutes squeezed, trying to keep this, my rib cage to my hips. I'm trying to keep that as shortened as possible, okay? And that's gonna ensure that you're activating the right muscles here. And remember, it's about quality work. Stay present. Three, two, and one. Good. We're going to shake those first two exercises out with our grapevine, okay? If you're seated, okay, you can lateral tap, lateral tap, lateral tap, lateral tap. Okay, that's your modification seated. Here we go. All right, talk yourself through it. All right, that one foot comes back behind the other. Boom. We're going back to the top after this. We're going back to dead bugs. Seated, standing, or on the floor next. Five, four, three, two, and one. Okay, back to the top. Remember, timer is just there to keep us on time for class. Get your drinks when you need it. Don't let it stop you if you're thirsty. Okay, so dead bugs, final round, or for now at least. Whew. All right, opposite hand and foot, slow and controlled, okay? Remember the importance on working on our balance. Excellent. Got about 10 more seconds here. And we're gonna go back to the hinge and bicep curl. So this one focuses on the front. The next one focuses on the back of the body, of the core, okay? Here we go, let's get ready. With our weights or water bottles or even imaginary weights, okay? Feet under hips, toes are forward. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. We push back, squeeze the glutes to stand. Bicep curl. When I'm curling, I mean, I'm really trying to, like you suck in for a picture, right? All right, you're trying to make your skinniest waist. That's what you should be doing here. And keeping your glutes squeezed as you come up and curl. We have 10 more seconds here. We're going to go to our grapevine, and then we're going to start our next 3 rounds right away. So I'll refresh you on what those exercises are when we get there. 2 and 1. Okay, let's get ready to grapevine. And then we're going to go to our sit squat with that 45-degree press, okay? All right, grapevine first in 3, 2, and 1. Remember, if this, if you're like, oh man, I keep on messing up this grapevine, just take it back to basics and step together, step, tap, right? So we're moving on after this one, but we will be doing another set of all these first 3 exercises. So don't put them up on the shelf yet. They're coming back later. 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent, okay. Sit squat to that 45-degree press. So we're somewhere in between straight out in front and straight up ahead. We're right in between that, okay? All right, remember alternating leg extension if you want to remain seated. Otherwise, here we go. Heels are about shoulder width apart. Press. Tap it down. Drive it up. Go at a rhythm that's good for you. Okay, you want it to be challenging but not impossible. And you want to make sure your good form trumps anything else, okay? So quality over quantity. 10 more seconds here. Then we're going to go to our bicep curl and march. 2 and 1. Okay. Check it out. Very similar to our dead bug, but now we're going to our bicep curl and march. Really focusing on our core this week, trying to make sure our lower back is nice and strong here. Here we go. Focused on balance. All right, you can do this seated the same way. And again, I'm constantly, every time I exhale as I raise that knee, I'm thinking of my belly button, exhaling, like that air coming out of my stomach, okay? Think of your stomach as deflating a balloon when you exhale. Ten more seconds. 2 and 1. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to put our weights aside and we're going to go to that rope pull. So seated or standing. If you're standing, I'm really squeezing my glutes because I want my hips to stay forward. I don't want them to like, I don't want to twist here. Okay, I want to, but I want to be a little angry, right? I'm mad. I want to pull this down for some reason, unbeknownst to me, right? You got to put that intensity into it. Okay. Not only do we have different muscle groups throughout the body, but within each muscle group, we have different types of muscle fibers, right? Some of them are more responsive to explosive movements like this, and some of them are more responsive to our slower movements, like we've been doing in previous exercises. So we're staying well-rounded to get them both in. And this one's sneaky. 2, 1. Gets that body temperature up, that heart rate up. You're like, oh, I didn't realize it was doing that. Back to the top. Sit squat with our 45-degree press. Our seated variation, you're just going to do an alternating leg extension. Heels are about shoulder width apart. Here we go. Drop it down, drive it up, press, okay? Drive it up and press. So I'm only like, it depends on your ability. But if you're able to, almost think of, you know, that feeling of leather car seat that's really hot in the summertime, and you can't really spend, and you have shorts on, and you can't really spend much time sitting down on it. It's kind of like, ouch, up, press, right? So you're not trying to hang out there too long if you can help it, okay? Almost there. 5, 2, and 1, okay. Going back to our bicep curl and march, okay. Getting back into that core, lots of core stuff today. All right, seated or standing, we're gonna give a nice big exhale as that knee comes up, ready? Here we go. Excellent. Halfway through this one. And we're going back to that rope pull. Ooh. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, bottom of round 2. All right, I'm kind of keeping that pelvis tucked under, okay? Getting that habit of scoop, right? Shortening the distance from here to here, right? And we're going to rope pull, right? Finding that intensity, okay? Keeping those glutes squeezed. All right, we're working those back muscles right now. Halfway. We have slow twitch and fast twitch muscle fibers. This is a fast twitch muscle fiber, right? Where you can just create that intensity, that force really quickly. And our slow twitch ones are the ones that just, they're endurance muscles. They're the ones where you just can keep on doing the same thing over and over and over again without getting tired. Whew. Keep it going. 2 and 1. Okay, back to the top of round 3. All right, round 3. So we're going to go to our sit squat to our 45-degree press. Okay, heels are about shoulder width apart. All right, ready? And begin. Here we go. We're going to sit squat down, drive it up, press. 45. So when I'm doing my press part, I've driven up and I'm making sure my glutes are still tight, right? I'm still squeezing them as I'm squeezed, and I keep that squeeze as I press. Remember the importance of making mind-muscle connections, right? We want to bridge the gap. We want to make sure if you're doing it, you can, your mind's like, yeah, I feel that muscle working, right? And time, bicep curl and march, okay? Seated or standing. Getting your drinks whenever you need them. 3, 2, and 1, here we go. So now we're slowing it down. We're focused on the trunk of our body, our core, allowing us to balance slowly on one foot while we're simultaneously doing a bicep curl. So we're moving weight through space and trying to balance on one leg at the same time. Even if you're seated doing this, such a good core exercise. So it's fine if you need to modify and do seated variations. The seated one is excellent as well. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, guys, back to our rope pull here. And then we're going all the way back to the top. All right, so here's our rope pull. 3, 2, and 1. All right, so when you're standing, I'm especially making sure the glutes are squeezed because we don't want that intensity to pull us this way or this way, right? We want to stay dead on center here. Good, 10 more seconds. 5, 2, and 1. Excellent. Okay, we're not stopping yet. We're going back to the top with our standing alternating dead bug, okay? So back to the top again. Take a deep breath. All right, you can do these seated or on the floor too. Ready? Begin. Remember, if you're choosing to do this laying down on the ground, remember, you want that lower back imprinted on the spine, okay? So don't let that pop off, and you only really want to extend your leg as far as it can go where you can maintain that, okay? So don't worry about the range of motion the leg goes. Just maintain that connection if you're laying on the floor, that lower back connecting to the floor, okay? Getting 4 sets of all our exercises here today. 3, 2, I think Zoom thinks I'm raising my hand. 2 and 1. Okay, we're going on to our hinge to curl now, okay? So working on that posterior side of the body, all right? This encompasses our lower back, our glutes, and our hamstrings here, okay? Here we go. Hinge, squeeze it up, curl, okay? Keeping that belly button pulled back to the spine. Grapevine is next. Three, 2, and 1. Good. Weights aside. Shake it out with that grapevine or that lateral 2-step or that lateral 2-tap. And 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Sit squat to 45-degree press is next. Excellent. Almost done with these. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time on those. Okay, sit squat to 45-degree. Heels are about shoulder width apart. Toes are slightly flared out. Or if you're staying seated, you're gonna give me that alternating leg extension. Ready? Here we go. Hot leather seat, ouch, boom, okay? So we're trying not to hang out too long on that chair before our heels drive us up and squeeze our glutes, okay? Of course, listen to your body. If you do need to sit on the hot leather seat, go for it, okay? So it's okay. You know, I just want to guide you through. If you're feeling strong in advance, you're going to try to spend minimal time on that chair, okay? 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Okay, we're back to our bicep curl and march, okay? So we're actually getting 8 sets of this core working right here. So when you think of our dead bug too, okay? Here we go. Let's not underestimate what these balance and core stability exercises have to offer. Helping to build up that single leg strength. 10 more seconds here. And we're going to go back to rope pull. Then we're going to take a break before we have our little finisher, okay? And time. Okay. Final set, rope pull here. All right, so tucking the pelvis so that everything stays nice and still. All right, here we go. Looking for intensity, right? Gusto. Give me a little grit. And I want you to think your core is working by not moving, okay? These are called anti-rotation exercises. Because if you weren't holding your core in, if you weren't squeezing your glutes, this intensity would totally pull your body side to side if you let everything go, okay? So you're working your core through not moving it, right? Just like a plank. 3, 2, and time. Excellent work. Okay, let's get a drink. We're gonna do one more finisher here. One more set. Okay, and we are going to do cardio here. So we're gonna do jumping jacks and sit squats, and it's gonna be a Tabata. So just 2, and it's 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds. So we're gonna finish strong, okay? Listen to your body. They're only 20 seconds per move. So, you know, push yourself if you feel good to push yourself today, okay? All right, so your jumping jacks, I want you to, you can either go this way, a seal jack, or you can come up above, okay? This is your one to make an option. And of course, if you're advanced and you want to do some regulars, go for it, okay? All right, so remember, seated, here we are, okay? All right, and then the second one is our sit squats. Sit squats, okay? You don't have to use the chair. You could do it right. You could do it without the chair as well. We're just moving up and down. We're getting that heart rate up one more time, 4 minutes, okay? All right, let's get ready. We're starting with our jumping jack variation that works for you, okay? In 3, 2, and 1, here we go. I'm just gonna stick with the overhead today. My shoulders feel okay. Again, if sometimes overhead is not comfortable for us, so you might wanna just take it back, okay? That's pretty good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, okay? Squats, remember this is just 4 minutes. We are just trying to finish strong, okay? Finish like, woo! All right, 2, 1, sink it down, drive it up, down, up, okay? Go at your rhythm. Your pace does not have to be mine, okay? And if you're remaining seated the whole time, you're doing alternating leg extensions. 3, 2, and 1, good. Whew, it's round 1, 3 more, back to jumping jacks, okay? Tabata sneaky, right? 2, and 1, here we go. Pick your variety, okay? Lots to choose from here. Make it work for you. And don't be discouraged. If you need more rest, take more rest, listen to your body. 2, and 1, preparing for squats again, okay? Or alternating leg extension, all right? 3, 2, and 1, sink it down. Remember, follow your rhythm. It does not need, everyone's body is, you know, unique to their size and stature and limitations. So you do you, okay? And time, back to jumping jacks, okay? In 3, 2, and 1, here we go. That's it, only 20 seconds. Trying to push ourselves in these little shorter time periods. Almost done this set. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, okay. Back to squats. All right, should be feeling that intensity now, all right? Feeling that heat. Here we go in 3, 2, and 1. Sink it down, drive it up. If you can only get 3 squats in your 20 seconds, but they're quality squats, I'm happy with that, okay? So don't feel like you have to, like, you know, go at any kind of pace that's not working for you. Quality over quantity. Time, okay, this is our final set. I'm feeling it, guys, I'm feeling it. All right, oh, excuse me. I'm getting phone calls in 2, 1, last set. This is it, okay? Last set of each of these exercises. If you're feeling good, if you're feeling strong, push it, okay? 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Deep breath. 1 more set of squats. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. Sink it down. We're done after this 20 seconds. We're gonna cool off. Ten more seconds. 5, 3, 2, and time. Nice work, guys. Woo! Right? 4 minutes of work can feel pretty intense. That felt like my hardest block, I felt like, and it was the shortest duration. Okay, so get a drink. We're gonna cool down real quick. All right, and we're gonna start upper body and take it down. Okay, so we're gonna start with our neck and trap here, just trying to feel a gentle release as our heart rate settles down. Okay. All right, just kind of letting gravity do the work with my fingertips here. And then back to center, same thing, other side. All right. We're gonna take it into the shoulders and the lower back and the hamstrings by doing our forward fold, okay? So this is where I like to fold, okay, over. I'm trying to create a 90-degree bend through the hip, right? And if you can stay completely still here if you want, okay? You can have a soft knee, you don't have to lock it out, okay? Feeling that stretch go through the back of the body. Or if you feel comfortable, you can kind of sway your hips from one side to the other and feel how you get that stretch on either side of the lower back there. If that feels like sharp pain, don't do it, please. Just stay still. All right. And then gently come back to center. And when you're ready, let's walk it up, okay? We're gonna do a calf stretch. A lot of times if we have tight calves, that can create some lower back discomfort. So we're gonna split stance, okay? I'm gonna keep this front foot, okay? I'm flat, and I'm gonna keep this back foot flat, okay? I'm gonna bend this back knee forward, okay? You see that? Back knee forward, and I should feel a stretch through this part of my calf, right through here, okay? So you're just gonna work through your range of motion, trying to get a little stretch there. Good, and then come up, switch sides, okay? So both the heels are on the floor. You're gonna pop that back knee forward. That heel maintain, you wanna try to keep that heel on the floor, even with you pushing that back knee forward. That's where we get that little stretch through the calf. Good, and our last one we're gonna get is our seated figure 4. This is also good lower back stretch here, okay, as sometimes our glutes can be tight, all right? So again, we're just kind of lifting up, and this is that one where I keep my foot flex here, but it just doesn't take a lot of bending forward to feel some type of sensation through that crossed leg, okay? So essentially, let me show you from the side, my personal range of motion, okay? So I'm trying to maintain some length, and I come forward. I mean, that's like, what is that? Just I mean, when you think from my hips, it's only like an inch or two, maybe it's 3 or 4 inches up top, but it's not much. And I feel it right here, okay? When you're ready, release. And let's do the same thing on the other side. So I want to make sure I'm flexing this foot, lengthening, gentle lean forward. Good. All right. You can come out of that. When you're ready, we're going to go ahead and we're going to inhale up. So here we go. We're going to inhale, palms together, exhale to heart. One more time. Exhale to heart. All right, guys. Hopefully you like that today. I did try to incorporate some lower back exercises, good, some core exercises. So